Over the decades, Canada has exported many things to the United States. Fuels, wood, and even that space arm used on the Space Shuttle and International Space Station. In 1991, it exported something else for our pleasure and enjoyment, that of a champion in the form of a super filly named Dance Smartly. Owned and bred by Ernie Samuel's Samson Farm, a farm whose name came from the name of his family's very successful business, Samuel, Son and Company, Dance Smartly was bred to be something very special right from the start. Sired by the hottest and one of the most sought-after stallions in the second half of the 20th century, Danzig, and out of the Sansom's homebred and Canadian Hall of Famer Classy and Smart, she was trained by Canadian Hall of Famer Jim Day and ridden in most of her races by another Hall of Famer, Pat Day. Winning 3 of her 5 starts as a 2-year-old, including the Natalma Stakes, considered to be one of, if not the top prize for 2-year-old fillies in Canada, she then traveled south of the border for the first time to take on the best 2-year-old fillies around in the Breeders' Cup. She finished a very respectable 3rd to that year's 2-year-old filly champ Meadow Star. Losing nothing in that defeat, she traveled back to her home base where preparations were made for a 3-year-old campaign that would go on to show the best was truly yet to come. Beginning her 3-year-old year with easy victories in 2 minor stakes races, she set her sights on the 1991 Canadian Oaks and did not disappoint as the heavy favorite. It was that dominating performance that had her connections thinking plate. The Queen's Plate, that is. Feeling that she was not only the best 3-year-old filly in Canada, but the best 3-year-old period, they took on the boys in the Queen's Plate, the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. As you can see, she showed the boys that girl power was to reign on this Queen's Plate day. Taking the second leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, the Prince of Wales Stakes at Fort Erie with ease as well, she returned to her home base of Woodbine with her sights set on becoming only the second filly in history to win the Canadian Triple Crown. The Canadian Triple Crown is a little different than America's version in that it is run on both dirt and turf, with the last race of the series, the Breeders' Stakes, being run at 1.5 miles over the expansive turf course at Woodbine. Toying with her competition yet again, she cruised to victory to etch her name next to the others who have achieved Triple Crown glory.
By 3, January man on the outside, and the Queen of Canadian racing is going to wear the crown, the Triple Crown, the Bank of Montreal Triple Crown. Dance Smartly, majestic in victory.
Not one to rest on her Triple Crown laurels or back down against the boys in any way. She took on all comers again, seeking her first true Grade 1 victory. The Canadian Triple Crown is restricted to Canadian-bred horses, so it does not carry graded status in the Molson Export Million. You can all pretty much guess what happened in this one, can't you? Undefeated so far in 1991, she had one final feather to lodge in that champion cap of hers, and it was again south of the border to take on the best fillies and mares on the continent in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Facing the likes of Queena and the always dangerous Versailles Treaty, and coming into the race in less than ideal fashion as a hoof issue interrupted some of her training, some wondered if she could still pull it off. She silenced all the doubters this fall day, and the iconic Tom Durkin summed things up perfectly after the fillies and mares crossed the wire at Churchill Downs.
Smartly, with a sweeping move on the outside, is coming toward the lead. Grand Girlfriend also kicks in. Queen is coming hard on the extreme outside now as the field comes down toward the final furlong. Brought to mind with a short lead. Dance Smartly is right there on the outside. Fit for a Queen. Brave at the rail third. Here comes Versailles Treaty, who's kicking in late. But it is Dance Smartly. She takes the lead under Pat Day's urging and pulls away here by 2. It is Versailles Treaty, but is too late and not enough. And it is Dance Smartly who strides under the line, undefeated this year, and the undisputed queen of racing on this continent.
Amazing undefeated season she put together earned her year-end honors on both sides of the border, taking the Eclipse Award as top filly in the U.S. and the Sovereign Award for both top filly and Horse of the Year in Canada. A nagging suspensory issue only allowed her to race 4 times in her 4-year-old season, winning just once. She was retired to Samson Farm to begin her life as a broodmare, and what a broodmare she was, as among her progeny were Queen's Plate winners Scatter the Goal and Dance Through the Dawn. In 1995, she was inducted into the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame, and a year later the Dance Smartly Stakes was created in her honor. She earned top Canadian broodmare honors in 2001 and earned her spot in the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame in 2003. Sadly, she had to be euthanized after suffering an injury related to an arthritic stifle in 2007. Tammy Samuel Belez, the son of her owner and breeder, said, "While we were fortunate to have bred and owned her, she truly was Canada's horse." Or, to put it simply once again, she simply was
Undisputed queen of racing on this continent.